Chris Christie right now, for a couple of reasons. First of all, if we talk about all the issues facing the conservative movement here in New Jersey, I'd say the biggest issue isn't taxes, it's not spending, it's not the Second Amendment, it's the fact that those of us who believe in traditional principles of liberty are not respected. There's nothing but contempt for us. We're ridiculed, we're laughed at, we're marginalized. We don't even get a seat at the table for the smallest kind of committee. How do we overcome that? In my view, and a lot of people said, well, Grossman, you're a bright boy. Why do you run for state senator? Why do you run for freeholder? Why do you run against Christie? You don't have a chance. Well, the key is to get respect. And I always thought if you want to attack a snake, you don't attack the tail of the snake. You go for the head of the snake. And if you don't knock out the snake the first time, you go again and again and again until you do it. And I also think that by going against Christie, I'm bringing up issues that are going to help Leanne over there. They're going to help the Assembly people. So this has to be a team that's going to question where the Republican Party is taking New Jersey. And I had some ideas on how to do this. Because you probably never heard of me, because I can't get in the Newark Star Ledger, I can't get in the Bergen Record, I can't get in the Asbury Park Press. And one of the reporters for the Asbury Park Press let it slip out. Why? Well, I'm not going to waste time on you because you're not a serious candidate. And what is a serious candidate? By their definition, a serious candidate running for governor is someone who could spend $1 million a week during the last 8 weeks of the campaign. They actually said so. So because I can't raise $1 million a week during the last 8 weeks of the campaign, and because I can't even have a measly $1 million for the primary, I'm not serious, I'm not worthy of respect, therefore you don't read about me in the paper. So how can we overcome that? What can we do? I had a couple ideas, and that's how I got to talk to Barbara back in January about this idea. First thing is, run in the primary election, which is what we're doing right now. Forget the third party, forget the fourth party. You know, it's unfair, I know, but in baseball there are 2 major leagues, in football there are 2 major leagues, in politics there are 2 major leagues. There's so much money and talent to go around, you can write books about it, but we've got to go in the primary election. Because if you're not on a major league team, you can't play in a World Series. Number 2 about primary elections, hardly anyone votes in it. Only 5% of the people vote, which means in the primary election, every person who votes has 20 times the voting power in June that we have in November. And who are the people who don't vote? The low information voters. The voters who have to be spoon-fed with the ads. And even the TV ads aren't good enough, as the Republicans found out. They need someone to come to their house on election day and drag them to the polls. And because they can't, the Democrats can't drag all their people to the polls in one day, now we have extended voting to give them a month to drag their people to the polls. And the stupid Republicans go along with that, right? But that's something else. So we have that thing. A second thing we have going for us, besides going in a primary election, going with bracketed tickets. So often in the past, conservatives would run, and there'd be one conservative running here this year, and he loses, and another conservative runs by himself next year, and she loses. The idea of having bracketed tickets together, and I can tell you I've been in politics, as I said, since I was 10 years old. Never underestimate the power of the ticket. If someone said, well, he's not strong enough, or people don't like him. I actually was the South Jersey coordinator for Steve Lonigan when he ran. And one of the things that Steve Lonigan taught us, he said, I want to have a ticket in Atlantic County. But we couldn't find someone to be the freeholder. So finally we found somebody, and he said, look, I'll put my name up there, but I don't have time, I'm getting married, and I'm too busy with my job. We put him on there anyway. His name was Derek Brown. He ended up getting 9,000 votes. He was like the second time I voted there, because I guess half the county thought they were related to him. Or whatever it was. But he brought votes to others, and the ticket, and I can give example after example where really good candidates run by themselves, they lose, and they run with a ticket, and they win. So that's why I love the fact that you're running with a ticket. That's why I schlepped up here so you because there are people who actually but a Grossman on there won't hurt. You know. So the question is, and I think they say, well, you don't have a chance of winning. Well, define winning. And in election business, it's defying expectations. I already heard it out there from someone on the inside that said, well, you know, the Grossman's going to pick up a protest vote, so he'll probably, no one likes him, but he'll probably get 10% of the vote anyway, just a protest vote. That means if I get 20% of the vote, then we're sending a powerful message. And we're also saying if Grossman, with no money, and no support, and no this, no that, gets 20%, gee, if he had money and organization, and if he had slates in 10 counties instead of 20, they're a real threat, you see? And when we get to be a threat, that's when we get the respect. Because as you know from reading The Godfather, Vito Corleone was a store clerk. So he knocked off Fanucci, right? So that's how you get respect. You got to knock somebody off. David was a farmhand, so he knocked off the line. So that's why it's nice to be loved, but it's better to be feared. Some guy called Machiavelli said that about 500 years ago. So we've got to learn how to become feared.